all, and welcome to another episode of the In-Depth series. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Today we are going to discuss a report which has been published by Gallup, which is an agency that collects data and publishes several reports. One of its prominent reports are Global Law and Order Report of 2022. Now let's begin with the topics that we are going to cover under it. From the perspective of prelims, facts are important, and from the perspective of mains, specifically from the perspective of GS mains paper, second, it is important that you understand it. Let's move ahead and talk about the report first. The Global Law and Order Report of 2022 has been brought out by an agency by the name of Gallup. It collects data and claims, according to its website, that 99% of the world can be represented through poll with the help of Gallup. And first of all, it started with its survey in this arena in 1938, and that was in United Kingdom. Since then, it has covered more than 160 countries and areas. With the help of this particular report, countries can measure their progress towards achieving the United Nations goal for peace and peaceful and secure societies, and also to compare each other's progress. So India can compare its progress with respect to its neighboring countries and countries around the world. Moving ahead, let's talk about how does it conduct the survey. This is the most important thing to understand over here. First of all, it collects data through nationally representative probability-based samples amongst the adult population. Thing is, it's probability-based, and probability also subjective in nature because every person's opinion can differ. It is not pretty objective. This is one of its shortcomings as well. The populations which are asked the questions can range from age 15 and older. The current one, the data, of course, that has been presented right now is of 2021, and 122 countries have been covered under it. The number of people which have been covered under it is 1,27,000 people, and that has been done via telephone and also face-to-face interviews. The major aim is to gauge people's sense of personal security. So it is very individualistic, and their personal experiences with crime and law enforcement. Alright, now there are 4 questions which are asked in categories in order for the people to answer, and then a collective data is made and then represented. First is, in the city or area where you live, do you have confidence in the local police? That can differ from a person to another person. Do you feel safe walking alone at night in the city or area where you live? Again, this can also depend on person to person, and also it might be a true representation of the status of the country. Within the least 12 months, have you had money or property stolen from you or another household member? Within the past 12 months, have you been assaulted or mugged? So, first of all, we have to understand over here, 1,27,000 people is pretty small for a country like India, let alone the world. So, the thing is that a country like India, which has humongous population, and more than that, there are socio-cultural differences here that can also lead to the theory of, the application of the theory of sample mishandling. So, that is also something that we should be aware of. Moving ahead, let's talk about the rankings. 2 countries we are going to talk about right now. The most secure country with respect to this particular report, and the least one. First is Singapore with a rank of 90, with a scoring, not rank, a scoring of 96, and Afghanistan with a scoring of 51. And the higher a country scores from a range of 0 to 100, the more safer it is. So, Afghanistan is 51 and Singapore is 96. After Singapore, we have Tajikistan with 95. We have Norway with 93, Switzerland with 92, and then Indonesia with 92. Sierra Leone, one of the lowest ranking countries, 59 points. With 58 points, we have Republic of Congo, Venezuela with 55 points, Gabon with 54 points. India has scored 80 points and ranks 60th. So, India has scored although higher, but rank is pretty low. Now, moving ahead, let's look at the rank. It's not all inclusive, but important ones are there. Interestingly, Singapore and Afghanistan both did not reflect in the previous year's report. So, Singapore with 96, then comes Tajikistan with 95, Norway with 93, Switzerland with 92, Indonesia with 92, United Arab Emirates with 92, Canada 87, Japan 86, France 85, Australia 84, United States 83, Italy 83, Germany 83, Iran. Now these are the countries which are above India. Look at the rank 82, Pakistan and Iran. I am sure these two countries will not rank pretty well in the next ones, because right now we know how Iran is working, how Pakistan is working. New Zealand with 82, Sri Lanka with 80. Sri Lanka shares the similar rank with India, 80. Also, Iraq is 80. The countries which are lower than India, United Kingdom with 79. These are the scores, not the rank, remember. Okay. And Bangladesh with 79. Russian Federation 77, Brazil 71, Sierra Leone 59, Republic of Congo 58, Venezuela 55, Gabon, and then we have Afghanistan. These are the not the rankings but the points. Okay, remember that. Now, what does this particular survey conclude? What has it said? It says that the security measures worldwide more or less have remained stable if we compare the years 2020 and 2021. There is a reduction with respect to the proportion of people who feel safe walking at night and confidence in the police. This reduction is just 1 percentage point. It still remained much higher since 2006. This can be attributed to the pandemic as well, when lockdowns were in application, but many people might not be following it. So, things like that. Another was the George Floyd case of 2020, which rattled America. About 71% of respondents across the world said they had never felt threatened to walk alone at night, and about 70% of the people said that they have confidence in their local police. Moving ahead, now 1 in 9 people said they had property stolen from them or another household member in the past year. 6% have said that they were assaulted or mugged in 2021. Singapore has maintained a higher position if we compare it since the many times it was reflected. Afghanistan has scored lowest this year, and its performance has gone up from, although its performance has gone up from 43 in 2019. Now the survey in Afghanistan, of course, was when there was a change of regime, when the Taliban usurped the regime, and because of that turmoil was there and still is there in Afghanistan. Now let's move ahead and talk about nearly 22% of Afghans. They are saying that they felt safe walking alone at night in their neighborhood in 2021. A double of 12% of those who said so in 2019. So it has doubled. Scores of US, Canada and Western European countries have seen a downward trend in the report. Low confidence in local police, specifically with respect to the George Floyd case of 2020. Nearly 74% of Americans said that they trusted their local police, which is down from 82 in 2020. Moving ahead, now there are certain implications that we have to see of this report. Now, the United Nations' most recent progress report on its Sustainable Development Goal of 2030 says that importance of safety is utmost if anybody has to live peacefully and develop economically. Fundamentally, if there is no security, it will fundamentally corrode one's sense of well-being. It will also reduce trust in community engagement, and it will eventually become an obstacle to development. Moving ahead, now with respect to India, let's talk about that. India has scored 80 points. But its rank is 60th position. It is placed above countries in terms of points. Here we are talking about points, not ranks, which I have already shown you. 79, United Kingdom, Bangladesh, 79. But with respect to point, India has scored 80 points. It is below Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Respondents from Southeast Asia countries have gained confidence. There is an increase because of the improvement in police system both in Singapore and Indonesia. India was positioned at the 56th rank in the last report when it scored 81. Now, there was another important index in a similar fashion. We have the Rule of Law Index, which is released by World Justice Project this year. It gauges the rule of law in 140 countries on different parameters. First is accountability on the part of the government as well as private bodies. Then we have just law, the law which is clear and stable. Open government, that is the government accessible or not, and the justice system is impartial or not. India here remained at 77th position. Overall score of the rule of law has decreased for India in this report. That means its score decreased of 0.50 in 2021. It was 0.51 in 2020, just 1% below. Denmark has topped this with 0.90 points, and Venezuela has scored the lowest in 0.26, in the pointing term 0.26. So these are very important prelims facts. With respect to law and order in India, we have to understand that police and public order, these are state subjects in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. That means it is the responsibility of the state government to prevent, detect, register and investigate the crimes and prosecution of criminals. Although the government, central government provides, or the union government provides financial assistance with the help of the scheme of modernization of state police forces. The modernization is in terms of weaponry, communication, equipment, mobility, training and other infrastructure. Also, intelligence input is provided by the Central Law Agency, Central Security and Intelligence Agency, and also the National Crime Record Bureau, which came into being in 1986, releases a report, Crimes in India since 1953. This report has been released. Now it comes under the aegis of National Crime Report Bureau. It collects, compiles and analyzes the crime statistics. Also, Crime Criminal Information System, which was put into place in 1995, has the data with respect to criminal antecedents of a person, the crimes that have been committed. In order to provide a more systematic progress in criminal tracking system, computerized system under this were provided with respect to District Crime Record Bureau and State Crime Record Bureau. The Organized Crime Information System is also there, which provides all the information for organized crime, well-networked crimes. This also comes under NCRB. The CCTNS, which has been put into place since 2009 to track the criminal, you can say, ongoings of the country. Since 2009, 2,000 crore has been allocated for this project for a progress with respect to digital record of crimes in India. So India is doing its part. Let's move ahead and talk about the question. The Rule of Law Index is released by Transparency International, Interpol, Gallup or World Justice Project. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.